Honda's quintessential boy racer had found some big boy paint in its all-business R-Type trim, but there are some trade-offs. When Honda introduced the world to the plucky little Civic, performance wasn't exactly a huge priority. Priorities at the time were making something compact, affordable and efficient, just in time for an oil embargo that quickly changed people's priority. Despite its humble ambitions, it didn't take long for shade tree tuners to start wringing more out of the little hatch, followed by commercial tuners and then the factory-producing class-leading hot hatch. The 10th generation bows out with a new top model Type R, but you have to take the good with the bad. The good. That engine. The first principle of Go Fast is to jam as much power into as little car as possible. The best complement to a lot of push is less car to push, and it's one of the things that have made the hot hatch segment so enjoyable. Sure, for the most part they are powered by 4 bangers, but the cars are so small that they get the most out of it. Rather than deploying Honda's fast-spinning VTEC engine, a turbo does the heavy lifting, pushing the engine to 306 horsepower and 296 pounds-feet of torque. On top of that, the car went on a diet, losing 38 pounds. That combination makes the Civic Type R Limited Edition good for a 4.9-second dash to 60 miles per hour from standstill. The steering. One of the challenges that make hot hatches a challenge is the very thing that makes regular hatchbacks so practical: front-wheel drive. In less than ideal conditions, having the power come down via the front wheels is the preferred option. It also provides the average driver with a fair amount of predictability. Finally, not having to move power from the engine up front to the wheels in the back means more space on the inside. When you add oomph to the equation, there's a problem. Now you're asking the front tires to do 2 different things at once: lay down the power and steer the car. With the extra power going to the front, the torque of the engine will start to redirect the car, what's called torque steer. Honda's advanced management system almost entirely eliminates the torque steer, allowing sports car-like feats, even if the power comes out of the wrong end. 3 pedals. There's a harsh truth that for some is a hard pill to swallow. Today's automatic transmissions are better. They're smoother, they become the more efficient option, and they're faster. Most of them come with some way to involve yourself in gear selection if you need that illusion of control. They're better. Better is boring. Fans of the winding road signs prefer the age-old hands-on approach. Adherents of the third pedal have increasingly fewer options, but not in the Civic Type R Limited. That one comes in third pedal only. The 6-speed manual transmission is the only option for the little hot hatch. You're not adding 2 extra words to the name of the car so you can be soft in traffic. Grippy. Dom from the Fast and Furious franchise might live his life a quarter mile at a time, but for the rest of the speed-focused world, the first quarter mile is only the prelude to where the real fun starts: the corners. These are the people that worship at the altar of grip, and the Type R is an acolyte. The suspension is tuned for the equipped Michelin Sport Cup 2 tires with a normal raft of ride settings. At its grippiest, the little Honda will hold the road to the tune of 1.02 lateral Gs. That puts the Type R within view of a Porsche 718, all in a front-wheel drive car. Unlike other cars that have sought that extra grab in the corners, it doesn't punish the drivers for it. Road tests have reported a perfectly reasonable and comfortable ride, despite the extra attention to holding it down in the twisties. The last in line. It might have taken the Corvette over 60 years to get an 8th generation, but evolution moves a little faster for the Civic. The Civic will celebrate its 50th birthday with an 11th version of the car, making the Type R Limited a swan song for the 10th generation. The latest model has all the tweaks, the extra bit of power, the added mechanical grip. But while you're filling out the paperwork to make that little speed demon yours, some engineers somewhere don't care about your feelings and are busy crushing your dreams by making the car even faster. Next year's Civic Type R should be faster, and if such a thing is possible, grippier. Meanwhile, the 2021 Type R Limited Edition will remain the all-time champion of the 10th generation Civics. The bad. One color. When Henry Ford introduced his own car for the people, he famously told his sales staff that people can have the Model T in any color they liked as long as it was black. The reality is that the Model T did come in other colors, but the founding Ford was brushing back on the idea that if the Model T was popular, a variety of Ts would be even more popular. He thought his salespeople should convince the customers that the T on the showroom floor already had everything they needed. But of course, the Model T came in a number of variations. The 2021 Civic Type R returns to Henry Ford's famous quote, offering the Type R in any color you'd like, as long as it's this weird yellow, Phoenix Yellow Pearl to be exact. At least Corey Hart has another reason to start wearing his sunglasses at night. Styling. There's a fine line between going fast and being fast. But what's the fun in going fast if you don't look the part? Some of that comes with the territory. Bigger, wider tires can give the car a more aggressive look. Suspension lowered to lower the center of gravity gives the car a more aggressive stance. Diffusers, spoilers, and fins can give that normal car a race car look, and sometimes those affectations even work. Kinda. Not at the speeds that most people will be able to use their car, or in ways the average driver could perceive, but it looks fast. The Type R's design has all the reserve of a 12-year-old with a 12-year-old's logic.
And what's your scientific basis for thinking that?
I'm 12.
The bright yellow color, the massive biplane wing, and giant front air scoops with no less than 3 variations makes a Type R less than subtle. Engine note. Part of having a nice engine is having that sweet exhaust note, that little song that sings out of the tailpipe that says this car came to play. Four bangers are not particularly known for their engine note, but there have been a few that have developed a hearty sound to go with their hearty oomph. The Type R is not one of those cars. The strange triple exhaust poking out the center of the car delivers a tone that test drivers have fairly universally found disappointing. Even worse, for some reason, they've added a feature that pumps engine sound through the speakers, as if you want your $45,000 hot hat to be like a bicycle with a playing card in the spokes. The price. The Type R Limited comes with a hefty premium at $45,010. That's more than twice the price of a base Civic. It also puts the Type R in the same price category of other premium fare, like the Audi TT, the BMW Z4, and the Tesla Model 3. Of course, the Type R has more horsepower than the TT and the BMW. It has the same horsepower as the base Tesla, but is able to beat the heavier Tesla to 60 by those precious 0.2. But a Civic will not have what the Germans call Überhol prestige. That's the term they assign to how likely you are to get over and let a car by on the Autobahn when you see it in the rearview mirror. But then, there's something satisfying about smoking that exotic in your grocery getter. Maybe you can train Rover to wave at them from the rear view. Specific tire. Naturally, the other sell for having a Honda and not a prestige brand is that when you bring that car in for repairs, you're bringing a Honda in for repairs with Honda cost, and not an Audi or BMW in for repairs with Audi and BMW cost. And that's on top of Honda reliability. All that goes out the window when the car's suspension is designed around the one expendable part of the car, the tires. The Type R comes with and is designed for the Michelin Pilot Sport Club 2 tire. That means that when it comes time for a new set of shoes, it could set you back almost $1,000. If we're honest, no drawback is going to be big enough to cause a problem for Honda moving the 1,000 limited editions scheduled for manufacture. 600 of those are headed to US shores, so if you want one, move fast. At least you won't lose it in a parking lot.